As we sit here, the latest film you've done, I believe, is probably playing, yeah, I know it is, in parts of the States, or will be by the time we're seen here as we are here. This television time is very confusing, but as we actually sit here, I have seen it, and I don't believe you have.
No.
Well, let me tell you that you're wonderful in it. You don't have to worry about that. And we're going to see a slight scene from that. It's called Sleuth. It played on Broadway in New York, and I was completely taken by it. If people haven't seen it, they should get friends who have to not tell them too much about it, because it contains some wonderful surprises. How did you get along with that terrible director, Joseph Mankiewicz?
Oh, it was wonderful.
I only met him on that. Very nice.
Enormous talented, very, very intelligent. And known him years and years since I first went to America, almost actually.
It looked like you had terrific fun playing this.
Oh, it was a wonderful team, and Michael Caine is a lovely fellow, and terribly funny, and most friendly, and Bermondsey and proud of it. He's the most, I wouldn't like to say he's an underrated actor, because I think he's rated pretty highly, but even if he is, he's an underrated actor. I think he's an absolutely brilliant actor.
Bermondsey is a section of...
It's south of London,
South of, yeah.
In the south part of London.
Yeah. Can you explain a little bit about what we're about to see here? You play a mystery writer.
Yes,
and,
yes, a very successful mystery writer. Yeah. And I've been asked not to say much about the story, but I suspect him, I think, is all right to say.
Yes.
Of having a ding with my wife. I think that's all right to say that.
Having a...
A ding. I don't know what you call it in America.
But I'm sure we understand you.
Yes, I think. And the whole story, he knows all that. And the whole story is up and down, one-upmanship between the two of us. Yes. 1 minute I have the upper hand, the next minute he has the upper hand. Not the next, but sometimes for 10 minutes at a time, it seems an eternity in which one of us has the upper hand. And this sequence is a moment early on, shortly after our meeting in the film, in which I am supposed to have the upper hand.
All right, if you'll roll that, and we'll not only see you acting, but playing snooker. By the way, Mr. Mankiewicz has asked me to announce that that's a work print, what we call in the trade a work print, which means in case the color was slightly off or something. At the time we're taping this, the actual finished print was not there, so that if the balls change color on the table or any of that, or actors do, they were very concerned about that. We know how long you've been acting, but how long have you been playing snooker?
Oh, years.
Really?
Oh, yes.
That wasn't one of the things you had to learn just for...
Oh, no. It was, no, years and years.
I won't ask how many times it took you to make that last shot.
Nothing. It was just...
I have a feeling I'm being hustled into a game here. What do you mean by going over the brink? I was interested once when a director I had on who had directed you said to him, "Dickie, don't let me go over the brink the first day." And it was Richard Attenborough, and you were making a film.
Oh, yeah.
What a Lovely War.
Yes, it was rather a thick characterization. Oh. And it could easily have been a bit much, I suppose. And so I was wanting to be kept on a short rein in case I overdid it. Or, you see, being a stage actor, most of the time, it takes me a little bit of practice in a film to carve some of the fat off. Now that sounds as if I despise stage acting. I don't at all. But it is a broader canvas. And the film is more, I'd say, more of a science. I think people like to think of stage acting as an art. The actor on the stage, I think, is more the master of the situation than he is on the film. The film is the director's medium. And consequently, the acting is very precise, very exact, very... I suppose you could say it's a bit subtler. It's certainly on a smaller canvas. The brush strokes are finer altogether. It's like petit points against gros points. Understand?
So it would be sad if you felt that, I guess I'm backing into this question, if you felt that your best work hasn't been filmed so that people 100 years from now can be enjoying it. Would you say that, though? Do you feel that your work on the stage has been greater than your work on film?
Well, as I say, it demands a greater size.
Yeah.
Therefore, some people think a greater size means a greater effort or a greater result. It's hard to say. I personally would rather see a wonderful scene on the stage between 2 or perhaps 3 or perhaps 4 people than I think I would on the movies. That is only because I happen to know, because of certain technical practice, that I know how each is done. And I think it is the sense of continuity that has to be given to a stage performance is obviously greater, according to the technique, than the sense of continuity that has to be given to the film performance. Now, the sense of continuity in the film is provided by the director, who says that was too quiet, or that was too loud, or that was too much, or that was too slow. Now, an actor on the stage is supposed to conduct it much more for himself. The director in a stage play, he can do 2 things, I think, principally, apart from stopping the actors from running into each other. He can give the play a point of view, which he can sell to the actors. His principal task is to make quite sure that the author is served to his best advantage, and the actors are served to their best advantage. And at the same time, he can describe without setting, because this will vary according to performance, according to audience. But he can describe what he thinks is the right tempo for each scene, or the competitive tempos between 2 scenes, 3 scenes, 4 scenes, 5 scenes, etc. Whereas the director of the film is the absolute magician who is in charge and knows the answer to every question right from the beginning of the film to the last. If I'm directing a film, people say, would it be all right if she wore a red hat? Well, it simply means that you have to split your mind to every single shot that could possibly affect that situation, right to the beginning of the film, right to the end of the film, before you say, I don't care, or yes, or no. Yes. It's a very precise arrangement altogether in the film. I think it's absolutely wonderful. I adore films. And I wish to God not only that I did more, but that I could see more.
Really?
But unfortunately, well, yes, yeah. I love them.
So Orson Welles has said that he knows so much about making a film that he can't enjoy one like an average person can. Can you enjoy?
I probably enjoy a film more than I would a play now, because I've done so much more theatre work in the last few years.
Gee, that's interesting. When we come back, would you explain how you happened to kiss Sir Ralph Richardson?
I've tried.
I was put up to asking you that. We'll be right back after this message.